I love that this course was so feeding both the soul and the business, and that I felt that it was very much encouraged to be intuitive and to be divinely directed and to follow. I'd say probably maybe that's one of the biggest differences, is how you really embrace following the intuitive, like really listening to your inner whisperings of your heart and really trusting that that is so. I don't think there's too many programs out there that really do that in the way that you do. So and that's what I love. And I feel that since working together in the course, I've really developed a much deeper connection to my intuitive wisdom, a way more trust to. The other thing I think that I've taken away from the course is just how much more important it is to be inner directed, as opposed to looking for, external validation. That's really not what this is about. That if you really create it and it's coming from that place, that's going to serve you way better than trying to get the likes. So that is very different. It's very much, well, it's, a soul-centered type of course. So it's very different. So that if that speaks to you and calls to you, then this would be the place to learn everything and more, and even stuff you didn't know you need to know. You'll learn. Yeah. Taking the class, even though I kind of knew where I was headed, was just really helped me understand and have a way better owning of what it is I stand for, what my company is, where my company's headed to. And I just feel doing the actual work myself really helped me appreciate Emma's gifts and her power. And I'm just so happy that more people that could be able to work through it on their own speed and get amazing results, because she will guide you through step by step. And she's just there for all kinds of help. And, if you're not technical, she just demystifies everything. It's like the Wizard of Oz, and you're pulling back the curtain and you get to see how everything's working. And, the last business I started was over 20 years ago, and it's totally different now. So to have someone walk you through the technical aspects of starting a business today, not only the technical parts, but the marketing of it, and how things have to work together, and how running through all of that, you have to have such a distinct idea of who you are, so you're not lost in all of these people. And so the more that I work through the course, just the more I appreciated what I was doing, why I'm here, had a better clarity, more sense of purpose, and really just reconnected to the magic of what I think I'm called to do. And I think, though, that the beauty of having the course is that you have those spaces, you have the time in between to really deep dive, but that someone's waiting for you at the other end. It's not like you just like jump in and you're like swimming around and there's nobody there to save you. It's just so reassuring. Even though I knew where I was headed, it still was reassuring just knowing I could ask you a question, or just knowing I could talk it out and see if I was on the right track. So the other people in the class that are supporting you and cheering you on and saying, oh, I saw your Instagram post, like, way to go. There's just something about being held by a supportive community as well as a supportive leader, that it takes it to a different level when you have that creative community of other soul, women that are creating other business that are soul driven, because you don't feel so alone. And being creative is a very lonely business, and being in a creative business and being soul driven, you can feel like, what the heck am I doing? Because people just don't speak that language, really. So having a community of women from around the world, not just, in your country, but from around the world, is just, it really expands your consciousness of what's possible. And people do things differently in different countries. So, just being able to have that availability of people, other women that are doing creative things. I found that was an unexpected bonus. It was just interesting how much wisdom in the group. I mean, it, of course, right? There was just, even when people would ask questions, how they asked it, or how they would frame their question and what they were going through. I don't know, I found that very comforting and liberating, because you're like, oh my gosh, I'm not the only one. I'm not feeling like, what am I doing here? And that was not being alone. That was doing this and not being alone was wonderful. It's not really about branding. It's really about a deep dive into what is the essence of who you are, and what are you bringing into this world. And you just go into such depth. It's more than branding. It's like A to Z and back again, and 1 to 100 on how to run a business, how to market. Like, I just thought it would be like, okay, you're just going to have a clear definition of what your brand is, my colors, my font, and I'm going to go check. And I got so much more. I got stuff that I didn't even know. Like, I got introduced to the back end of WordPress, and I was like, oh, okay, now I actually can follow along and look and go, I think that's doable. I actually could probably go in there and make changes. I had no idea that I would even be, one, interested, two, even think I could possibly do it. So I think it's demystifying a lot of the technology, which for me was very helpful, and to be more playful and more creative, and knowing that there's, and the other thing is, you're just at the ready constantly. If I have a question, you get back an email so quickly, and you just provide such, I'd say, depth and support to your people that are taking the class. Like, it's like, it just feels very comforting. Like, even just knowing you're there, even if you don't have to ask a question, it's just nice knowing you're there. So